Welcome, everyone. I can see you're all slowly joining the call. Just get my screen set up. Okay. Thank you very much for everyone who's joined the call today. I'm just going to kick straight into it. This is a recorded session as well, so anyone who has to dash off or is late starting will be able to watch the recording later. My name is Kirsty, CEO of Elegance Group, and this is the second webinar in a series of JSM Unleashed webinars that Elegance Group are hosting. In today's session, we'll be diving into a bit more about giving you guys understanding of AI in service management. So what does AI look like in Atlassian tools? And then how can you actually apply that in some of your day-to-day to help optimize and gain some efficiencies? So very brief agenda. I'll hand over to Brandon soon, who will take you through leveraging AI in JSM. And then I'll hand over to Mark Edwards from Atlassian, who will give you a look into some of the things that have recently been released and also some upcoming releases for AI. And then we'll move into Q&A. While we're going through the session, if you have any questions at any point, please just click the Q&A at the bottom bar. You'll see Q&A and type your question in there. Mark or Brandon may be able to answer those questions during the webinar, or we may even mark it as something to answer live at the end. And we have this session booked for 45 minutes. So we'll be wrapped up by 12:15 Australian time, Sydney, or 2:15 NZ time. So a little bit about Elegance Group for anyone on this call who hasn't heard of us yet. We've been around for 5 years now. And the key driver of Elegance Group is really solving those killer business problems with Atlassian and out-of-the-box thinking. We are an Atlassian-only partner and really focus on Atlassian, so we really are experts in the tooling and love to share that with you. At the end, after this webinar, you'll also be sent an email, and thank you for attending. And part of that will be a free consultation that you can leverage, and you can chat to one of our senior consultants to understand how you're currently using service management within your organization. If you're currently using AI, how you're doing that, and then we can provide some recommendations and path forward to really maximize that productivity. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Brandon to just get straight into the technical details around AI. Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, Kirsty. Let me share my screen. Okay, so look all good. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Brandon, a solutions consultant and engineer at Elegance Group. I'm also an Atlassian certified expert, which, if you're not familiar with, is a collection of Atlassian certified exams. And finally, I'm involved in the Atlassian Creator program, which is writing newsletters weekly regarding new updates for Atlassian tools and guides on how to utilize your products to the maximum. Today, we'll be talking about AI and GSM. This can be quite a complex topic due to the different types of AI. Here is a brief summary of the categories that exist in GSM today. GSM Smart is a combination of machine learning optimizations to help surface relevant searches, including people, Jira issues, and knowledge base articles. This criteria consists of a combination of metrics, including last access date, most engagement, most viewed, etc. I will not be going into too much detail into GSM Smart in this presentation, as it's built into the Atlassian ecosystem and it's available to everyone by default anyway. So GSM Virtual Agent is an automated virtual agent for internal and external users. It can be used in the customer portal, Slack, Microsoft Teams, while also syncing the Jira tickets if escalated to a human agent. Rovo is the newest and most advanced AI feature in Atlassian tooling. These are autonomous agents that can be configured exactly how you like. This can be used to assist your teams and complete actions all on its own. And last but not least, we have Atlassian Intelligence, which is Atlassian's general intelligence, which has a variety of features across GSM, including issue summaries, writing assistance, and more. So we'll start with GSM Virtual Agent. So when should you use virtual agents? Virtual agent is perfect at dealing with requests that can be resolved by coordinating information or providing instructions. These are requests that can be easily added to knowledge base articles or might already be there, but just need an interface to converse with and resolve the issues for you. And these requests are usually ones that don't need to be escalated to human agents. Some examples are given on the right here. VPN resets, connecting to Office Wi-Fi's policies, and general product access. Virtual agent is active 24/7 and can be monitored and improved to increase level 0 deflection for internal or external users. Your agent benefits greatly by a detailed and complete knowledge base and will provide insights to improve itself and will help you identify themes that your customers are struggling to resolve through the agent itself. So here's what the virtual agent in Slack looks like. This is an example that this can be also configured to be accessed through Microsoft Teams if you prefer to use that for internal use, or you can even access it through the portal for customers. This example looks at an internal HR project. So a HR help channel at the top where the user is asking about their pay slips. So by default, the virtual agent will look at the Confluence knowledge base articles related to the customer's prompt, which you can see is a straightforward question about payslips. And from this sample conversation with the agent, you can see the agent has provided a related article and then hit its end of programmed actions. And now it's asking to be resolved or escalated to a human agent. If this is escalated to a human agent, all the conversation from the agent and the customer will be synced into the ticket. This ensures the human agent knows what's already been discussed and also creates a real-time communication link between Slack and Jira to reduce context switching. So here's a quick preview of the seamless integration of Jira into Slack after you've escalated the ticket already. We can see that there's different actions that can be done here. You can change the assignee, the status, you start watching tickets, and there are even more features that can be configured, such as defining actions through emoticons that can be attached in Slack as well. So now we are building on top of the default virtual agent. We can do this by configuring intents. Intents start with a set of training words and phrases that Atlassian Intelligence will try to identify and match. If these training words are matched, then the intent can be configured to execute a set of instructions, questions, or more advanced actions, such as web requests, as you can see from the options down here. If your agent did not find any intents, Atlassian Intelligence can be enabled to respond with all its accessible knowledge base articles, look for relevant matches in the articles, and converse in a casual, helpful manner to deliver this information. So here's a simplified diagram of how intents work. If the AI is confident it has found a match, it will execute the intent, and therefore the following defined actions that the intent has as well. But if not, it will digest and query the knowledge base and answer to its best ability. So here's a quick preview of agent metrics. This is the intents analytics page. This can help bolster the effectiveness of your agent and knowledge base by identifying the gaps where customers are not receiving matching intents or are not satisfied or not resolving them. From the example image here, you can see that license requests for Loom access has 871 conversations with only a 2.3% match rate and only a 10% resolved rate, along with a satisfaction rating of 1. This could be a good reason to investigate why the satisfaction is so low and what are the issues there. So moving on to Atlassian Intelligence. Now we will look at the details of what Atlassian Intelligence brings to GSM, starting with AI summaries. So conversations and tickets can get very dense, and you could go through hundreds of tickets a day. So imagine a long-standing ticket incident with numerous comments or a major incident that you need to catch up with immediately. AI will summarize all the comments and issue details in a matter of seconds. For service requests and incidents as well, it will also show knowledge base articles that have been shared, along with all the conversations already discussed. And after you've caught up, you've got the AI drafts. So after the incident or request is summarized, you have now caught up with all the discussions. You can use your writing assistant to draft you a response with no bias or frustrations involved. It will draft a friendly and helpful reply to assist the requester. This saves you from writer's block and lets you focus on modifying the draft to add a personal touch in seconds. So these are just two good examples of Atlassian intelligence. There are many more, and the features consistently keep getting added. Here are some more notable writing assistant features. Translations have been a very popular recent feature, with an ever-growing list of supported languages and globalization in customer portals. Another popular feature is changing tones, as that offers different themes and context of responses based on the requester. If you're talking to a customer or your boss, you might have a different tone. And finally, the fixed spelling and grammar is a great habit to reduce miscommunications and save you that accidental extra letter or typo. As you can see below as well, a sneak peek into Rovo if you have it installed. That can also be triggered from the comment box here. And moving into Rovo. So now we have Rovo, the biggest new feature to AI in Jira Service Management and Atlassian as a whole. Here's a preview of what Rovo looks like at a basic level. This comes in the form of a browser extension or button, which opens sidebar on Atlassian products that you have access to. This preview shows how to open Rovo and use it across multiple products. Rovo can only access what you wanted to access. You can choose the product data and external data it can digest, along with respecting user permissions, so it won't show anything that they already can't see. This means they won't get access to any confidential information as well. Okay, Rovo agents. So now we reach the Rovo teammates. So teaming up with a Rovo agent, Rovo agents are virtual teammates that can tackle specialized tasks alongside you, enhancing your work and enabling you to focus on the creative, fun tasks that you excel at. Rovo agents are created by three main methods. You can build your own agents through natural language prompts. It's just simple English language. This will be a series of training questions prepared by Atlassian, which are very simple and easy to set up in less than 5 minutes. If you have more of a technical background or want to get deep into the roots, you can create customized agents with code through the Atlassian Forge cloud hosting platform. And lastly, you can use Atlassian Marketplace agents. So these are added directly into your instance, just like Marketplace apps. Sometimes they are paid, sometimes they are free. So another main component of Rovo is the enhancement of searching. Here's a quick preview of Rovo Search, which searches across all products and data it has access to. And it can also be conversed further to drill down into exactly what you're looking for. Sometimes you might have to specify things, and Rovo will also ask those questions as well. So Rovo has a growing list of actions and is continuously being optimized. So feel free to ask it anything. Agents are at the core of Rovo. They can fit any role required of them: engineer, program manager, IT professional, business user, to name a few. Rovo also comes with a library full of agents out of the box, along with documentation on how to use it and what they excel at. One of my favorites is the Global Translator agent, which can translate full knowledge-based articles or meeting notes as soon as they are posted. Due to the collaboration with automation, you can trigger the Rovo agent when a page is created. Another interesting feature, another interesting Rovo agent is the Team Managers update. So Team Update agent. This can see what your team is working on recently and what they have accomplished. Why not use automation to send them a nice message at the end of the week to congratulate them on what they've worked on. So now we have some early feedback and findings from Atlassian. Atlassian is continuously community and feedback driven, and have found that nearly 75% of users report that Rovo helps them get work done faster. Atlassian research also found that Rovo saves users 1 to 2 hours every week on average. And these stats were reported when Rovo was still in beta. It has improved a lot since then. Atlassian strongly believes that the power of AI is not replacing humans, but in supercharging them to achieve their goals. This is done by strengthening your knowledge and assisting you to do the best work possible. So how can AI help you? From early AI testing in GSM, Atlassian reported that 80% of decision makers used AI to help them enhance their decisions. Atlassian also found that workload reduction and request deflection was at an all-time high, where 45 minutes a week was saved from Atlassian intelligence alone across the average employee. 77% of users reported that Rovo searching functions also saved them time. To conclude, we have a quote from David Sumter, a senior manager at FanDuel. And he observed that since implementing GSM's virtual agent, they have been able to cut support tickets that require human intervention by 85%. So what AI features would you like to see assist you in your day-to-day work and automate things that, maybe don't need to be done by human agents all the time? So that's all from me. I will now pass you along to Mark from Atlassian, who will share newly released and future AI features. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Brandon, for that. Good morning, everyone. So my name is Mark Edwards. I'm a partner solution architect with Atlassian, specifically specializing in ITSM and Jira Service Management. And what I want to do today is take you through some of the new features that we have released actually in the last couple of months, and some of the new ones that are coming that are busy rolling out with regard to how we're using specifically AI within JSM itself. It's very much an expanding feature set within the Atlassian platform. So AI is not necessarily just, or Atlassian Intelligence, or for example, Rovo or the virtual agent. We're really trying to make the AI within the platform and within JSM very practical for our customers. And that's really, one of our main focuses. It must be practical to use, it must be easy to use, and it must add value to our customers. And I'll show you some of those, and as we go through them, you'll see some of the value as we're starting to release these features. And while I was actually just listening to Brandon talk around the virtual service agents, I was actually just remembered there was another feature we released around the virtual service agent for email. So many of our customers are using email still to receive requests. And we've now released a feature that you can actually have the virtual service agent respond to an email with a knowledge base article or general information from your knowledge base, and actually respond to the email, and it logs the ticket automatically and then sends the response to the user. And the user can then continue to either log that request or they can give a thumbs up and say, okay, no, I don't need to, and it's solved their issue. So whether you're using it within the portal itself, email, Slack, MS Teams, that's the benefit of starting to use those type of tools within JSM. But specifically today, what I'll talk about is some of the roles we're seeing and how we're trying to provide value to some of the personas that we have, that our customers have. So I'll go through some of those now. So for example, an on-call agent, and this could be the type of agent that could be a contact center agent for external customers. It could be internal support for employees. And it also could be, your support agents that are specifically looking after operations. So it could be service support, etc. And if you look at what we've done with OpsGenie, previously we had the standalone OpsGenie, and that's been totally incorporated into Jira Service Management now. And we're really trying not to use the name OpsGenie because it's now IT Ops, which is part of Jira Service Management. But we want to be able to take many of the alerts that come from monitoring systems and take those and triage them as fast as possible. Because there can be many, many alerts that come from monitoring systems. So one of the new features we've released is alert grouping. So it's using Atlassian Intelligence in the background to triage the alerts for the customer or whoever the agent is that's viewing these alerts. And it's starting to group them into alerts that are very, very similar. So instead of this fatigue where we would have thousands and thousands of alerts coming through to a dashboard, what we're really trying to do is triage these, reduce the noise, and then from there, you can either create an incident manually from the alert or the group of alerts, or you can automatically use the inbuilt IT operations automation to create incidents in Jira Service Management, where you can now start to really manage not just an alert, but an incident properly and run it through the incident management process. So that is something that adds a lot of value to customers, especially trying to reduce the amount of work that agents are starting to have to do when it comes to monitoring systems. So that's one of them. And there's some features that are also coming out soon, a little bit later in the year. They'll probably be announced at Team, which will start to enhance some of this. But it's not just alerting. If you look at, even if you're not using just general alerts from monitoring, maybe you just have lots and lots of incidents. We want agents to be able to start to, very, very quickly get an idea of what type of incidents are actually coming through. And most of the time, if one agent or one customer has logged an issue or an incident, there'll probably be more than one that have done that. So we want to be able to sort of bring those similar incidents to the foreground, to the agent who's actually working on these, and also have a look at past incidents that may actually help resolve an incident. Most of the time, you will find you may not have all the knowledge base articles available that could help an agent. But if an agent is able to see what is actually happening what has happened previously on similar incidents, they would be able to see what the resolution of that incident was, and hopefully save time and be able to solve that current incident a lot faster. So we're using the AI to go through tickets in the background and actually surface that in context within a ticket. But what about DevOps and also approvals for changes, etc.? This is something that takes quite a lot of time with an organization. So we want to be able to really improve things and speed things up when it comes to change management. Now, this might be, for example, the standard way of logging a change. So logging a change just generally via the portal or via the general GUI from an agent perspective, or it could be if you starting to use CI/CD and use the actual deployment process to log the change within JSM. This provides a very, very quick way for developers to log changes. You can put change gating in the process to make sure that changes are not just automatically deployed to, for example, to production, but able to actually use change gating and an approval process within the process to make sure that the process is being followed. So changes would normally be logged on a service. So you can, for example, here we're logging a service against the booking service. And by utilizing services within JSM, which is a really important part of how you can start to track what changes, what incidents, what requests are being logged on a service, this allows you to start to really track those and allows us to provide some insight back to you. So as an example, for either, and this persona that I've got here is actually the person approving the change, but this is actually available for the person logging the change as well if you're doing it within an agent view. So if an operations engineer is logging a change manually and they're using the agent view, they can see all of this information as they start to log the change. So we're providing insights to the approver, risk summary. So what changes have failed, what incidents are currently in play, because logically, if, for example, you decided to, you were logging maybe a change for tonight, and there was an ongoing major incident currently on the go, the last thing you want to do is log a change while a major incident is happening. So we want to be able to ensure that people logging changes and approving changes can see this type of information. And this is how we're using Atlassian intelligence in the background to really provide those insights to the approver. And we're also providing it to assets. So this is a new feature that's currently being implemented at the moment. So not just against services, but also bringing your asset information from your CMDB or JSM assets and actually provide that type of information to the approver as well, if you were logging a change, not just against the service, but against an asset CI. We also provide you some, not just, here it is, you need to use it like this type of configuration. We're allowing you to actually start to customize this a little bit. So, based on the previous screen you saw, you can actually customize whether you want to see the changes or whether you want to see the incidents, and how you may want to start to show rejected changes. So what does that involve? So it could be changes within your organization that are declined or cancelled, or maybe it's only declined ones, or maybe it's failed changes as well. So you could actually add that in, and you can start to customize what duration you want it to actually go back on to show that information and surface that information to the approver. So we're providing you a little bit of flexibility around that as well. So what about an ops leader? So, we may have an operations leader that does a lot of support, does a lot of the general ensuring that there's quality of service. And that could be in an operations function, or it could be just a general support function. So, employee services. So it even could be HR. And what we're trying to do is use Atlassian intelligence to provide insights to everyone with an organization, not just operations, but across enterprise service management as well. So this is fairly new as well. It's AI sentiment analysis. What we generally find is that when a customer is unhappy, or whether they're happy, you only get to know about this when the ticket is closed and you send the sort of CSAT survey to the customer who say, I was very unhappy with this, or I was very happy. And it's kind of post when the incident is closed. So what we want to be able to do, though, is we want to really start to look at a real-time sentiment analysis. So we're starting to do that with AI. So what it does is it goes through the tickets. So you can actually see this on past tickets as well. Here, what I've done is I've just created a queue within my support project. And because it's a custom field, the sentiment analysis field, that is populated by the AI, we can start to do filters on this. So I've created it just for all open tickets with negative sentiment, but you could create it a queue with maybe just neutral or positive sentiment as well. But logically, what you would generally do is you want to focus on the ones that have negative sentiment. So this is actually, if I click into the ticket, what you'll see is a field, and I've just created a bit of a zoom in to that, which shows the negative sentiment. And that's based on all the comments and the description that are in the ticket itself. So as the customer or the employee is chatting with an agent, and as comments are being added to an issue, that is then being viewed by the sentiment analysis engine at the back end, the AI engine at the back end, and starting to surface that to yourselves. The next, and this is probably the last one I'll discuss quickly, is AI suggestions. So with this, what we're trying to do is within context of a ticket. So you can see here, I'm looking at an actual ticket itself. And on the right-hand side, you'll see a suggestions panel that is now visible to an agent. So I'll just zoom into that quickly. And what you can start to see is we're trying to make things as easy as possible for an agent and gain that critical insight as quickly as possible to either an incident, a request, or even a change. So here you can see the report. It gives a summary of the ticket itself. It provides some insight into who the reporter is. It gives some steps, so you can start to see it starting to show, well, this is what a typical agents do on a ticket like this. So update the work field, assign the ticket, reset the user's password. It's starting to view all the previous tickets that have come around before and starting to use that to provide insights. But what it's also able to do is suggest actions. So here as an example, it's had a look at the ticket and it said, okay, this ticket is the priority of the ticket is typically medium. So what we should typically do is upgrade this from low to medium. And you can, instead of going in and actually changing that field, you can just accept the suggested action and JSM will automatically change that for you. A second type of suggestion, if we start to see these tickets have actually been resolved by a certain assignee that has maybe worked on this type of ticket before, it'll then start to suggest, well, maybe you want to add this Bradley Phillips as the assignee. You can then accept that, and it will then automatically then go and set Bradley Phillips as the assignee. There are quite a few more examples that we've got of this type of suggestions that are starting to come through. But it's really supposed to make things a lot easier for agents to be able to quickly solve tickets and reduce that SLA time for you. All right, so that's everything that I had for you today. So what we'll do is I'll hand over to Kirsty and we'll look at some questions.
Very much, Mark, and thank you, Brandon. So there's no questions waiting in the questions and answers, but what I want to ask is if anyone has any questions, just click the raise hand along the bottom bar, and then we can allow you to talk, or still type it into the Q&A box as well. Anyone? No questions. I just had one question, Mark. On your AI suggestions there that you're just going through, where it listed out next steps, is that kind of based off of patterns of behavior?
Yes, that's exactly what it does. So it starts to look at patterns that have happened within tickets. So as agents have gone through a ticket and put comments in or found a resolution, it's starting to add that context into the suggestions.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't look like we have any questions. So in which case, if you could just flick to the next slide, please, Mark. Oh,
Sure.
wait, we have one question. How do you harvest the knowledge and tickets into what's the practice for agents to input in tickets to enable it to enable this feature? I think what the question is asking is, how do you give it that knowledge to know what that practice is for agents? But I think what you just explained is it's actually learning from historical patterns.
Correct. You actually don't really need to do anything. Once you've enabled Atlassian intelligence and you use, allow it to start to use your data and look at your data, it's going to do that automatically. There's nothing that you need to go and start to train the AI. We've done that for you. So it's really going in and having a look at that and then presenting it back to you. Is it going to be 100% perfect every time? Absolutely not. I mean, we know that AI will start to learn as it goes through more and more tickets. So as an example, if you spun up a service project that only had 10 tickets, you're not going to get really the suggestions that I was showing. There needs to be some tickets, and I can't remember exactly how many tickets it needs to be, but it needs to start to learn from a certain number of tickets within your environment, and then it will start to suggest those.
Thank you. Anyone else? Just while anyone else is maybe thinking of some questions, I do urge you, I'll just pop up the slide again. I do urge you to make use of this offer. It's like an hour or two of a senior consultant's time to just really get some direction and recommendations of how you can leverage these tools in your own instances, and also just like helping you identify some pain points and looking for those opportunities. Thank you very much for everyone's time today. I think we'll stop it there.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Brendan.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks. Bye.